don't want to do anything to scare your children. That's the last thing we want to do.
That's a direct order. Do it now.
He's been put down, ripped off, cut open. Now he's unleashed. The American insurgency starts now. This is Rusty Humphries, Rebellion Radio.
Well, hello, my brother from another mother. How are you, my sister from another mister? Hello, welcome. It is the Rusty Humphries Rebellion. We are powered by the nice folks at Right Wing News. You can also watch us on Facebook on a number of different pages like Team Trump and I Support Barron Trump, and the great pages that are brought to you by the nice folks at Liberty One TV. And if you haven't subscribed to them yet, well, I don't know what you're waiting for, but you definitely should do it. They're nice folks. They got a lot of great shows on there, a lot of great hosts, and I hope you will support them. Another place I really hope you support me is at an app that you download onto your phone. It's called the HearMeOut app. HearMeOut app. You download it to your phone. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. It's like Twitter, except you talk and listen as opposed to typing the characters. And I find it far more interesting than Twitter. And on top of that, they have assured me they are not going to censor conservative speech. Okay? I'll be giving away some more $100 gift cards on the Hear Me Now app soon. So you have to follow me, type in hashtag Rusty, and you'll have an opportunity to win big. What more do you want, huh? Win big. All right. Check in. Who are you? Where are you deplorable from? Let's see here. We've got Deborah from South Carolina. Gail is in Maine. Larry's there. Rodney from Kentucky. Michael in Texas. T. Wayne is in Texas. Dennis is in Maryland. Brian is there. Brian wants to, did you smell any Dell notebooks burning at the Clinton place? Funny, I did smell some computers on fire. I wonder why that might be. Do me a favor, share this video, would you please? Thumbs up, hearts, we love all those things. And if you don't like what I have to say, that's fine too. Give me some frowny faces. Bill is a California deplorable. Heidi is from Utah. Reagan is in Texas. Sandy is in Lewes, Delaware. Elda is in Welton, Arizona. How you doing? Tammy is in Ohio. Carmen's there. Oh, I know it's cold in a lot of places. It is, what are they saying? A cooling bomb is going to go off or something, where it's going to be like super, super, super cold tomorrow. And I know what you're going through. Let me look at my thing, because I live in Arizona. And, yeah, you can see right now at 7:08 p.m., we are down to 65 right now, 65 degrees. And it's going to be down to 74 tomorrow if you take a look. 74, 73, 72, 73, 74, 76, 72. That's our week outlook. So yeah, I completely understand what you're going through across the country with the blizzard. Now, when I start complaining in July and August, then you can laugh at me. But for right now, let's see. Trey's in Texas. Krista's in Arizona. Dave says, burn, baby, burn. Bruce, Rapid City, South Dakota. Denise is from Alabama. Roger says, see, you can have a fire in an ice cold room. Herbert's in Jackson, Michigan. Donna is in Palm Coast, Florida. Gary says burning the missing emails. But Gary, by the way, is with the First Cav. He's got a First Cavalry sticker, and that was what my father was in. He was a Cobra pilot in Vietnam, and was in the First Cav, and unfortunately didn't make it home. But all right, Sandy says, burn emails, you slime bags. Timothy says, forget the fire, let's talk about her and Gitmo. Never going to happen, buddy. Never. Dallas-Fort Worth is where Chris is, and more. All right, let's talk about the fire first, and then other things that are going on. At this point, according to TMZ, you can say, well, they're a rag. Yeah, they're a rag, but they tend to get stuff like this pretty right. They are saying Bill and Hillary's house on fire. Secret Service rep says the fire started in the ceiling on the second floor. Agents were able to use fire extinguishers to put the blaze out. Fire department came to inspect, ensure everything was safe. That was 2:47 p.m. Pacific time, 2:12. A rep for Hillary says the fire started in the Secret Service facility on the property, which is not connected to the main home. You know, because those are the guys I worry about, the Secret Service guys, because they're not safety conscious at all. Secret Service side. I want you to remember that they said it was the Secret Service side, because when it comes out, and it will, I guarantee the sun will come up, the sun will rise tomorrow, the sun will set tomorrow, and in the near future, they're going to say, well, golly jeepers, we thought we had everything, for the inquiries from Congress, but unfortunately it got caught up in the fire, and now it's all gone. Whoopsie. But wait a second, Bill and Hillary, we thought it was just in the Secret Service quarters. Yeah, but we stored the servers in the Secret Service quarters so nothing would go wrong. They're going to say. Do you buy it? I don't buy it for 1 second. See, the fire appears to have been on the second floor of the structure, according to the local fire departments, but mostly extinguishment crews are checking for anything additional. So that's the news so far. And again, when it comes to the Clintons, we trust nothing. It's not trust but verify. It is trust nothing. Nothing. I mean, isn't it a coincidence? The day after they start going, yeah, we found a bunch of nasty stuff on Huma Abedin stuff. Yeah, she was sending passwords and all kinds of illegal things to her personal Yahoo account. The day after that comes out, fire at the Clintons. Well, golly jeepers, what a coincidence. What a coincidence. Yeah. I don't buy it. Tom says, look for bodies in the ashes. Randall says, I'll fire. That's pretty convenient. Yes, it is. Brian says, the smoke looked like a Dell computer. Jeremy says, did someone's pants started on fire? Yes, I believe that was Hillary's pantsuits that started the fire. Jerry's from Tennessee. Cindy's in Arizona. Ronald's in Texas. Mark checking in from Pennsylvania. Denise thinks they're burning evidence. Jody wants to know who they killed this time. Ooh. Jody, you're tough. Jody's tough. All right, Ann says, what's going on? Well, again, there was a fire at Bill and Hillary's house at Chappaqua, New York. I'd be surprised if Bill was anywhere near it, or Hillary. They're very good at being in the right place at the right time. If the fire's there, they're going to be someplace else. So we'll find out more. Again, never trust the Clintons. And again, what a coincidence. Right after we started finding out more about Huma Abedin, Hillary's house catches on fire. What a coincidence. Let's see. Lisa checking in. Jeremy checking in. Ann's in Florida. Teddy's in South America, in Ecuador. Teddy fled the abomination. Randall's an Uber deplorable from Aberdeen, Washington. Jenny's a Utah deplorable. Texas. Siri is visiting America. How you doing? Nice to see you. Howard says, what a wasted fire. They weren't at home. No. We never wish physical harm to anybody. Once our speech moves into the realm of the physical, that's not good. We don't want that, okay? All right, let's get on with some other stories. Okay, here's another thing that was a big story today, and that was President Trump. Is he insane? Because he's tweeting Kim Jong-un, and his tweets are they awful, according to the left. Jake Tapper described President Trump's recent behavior, including the president's tweets, as being abnormal and unstable. In other words, Jake Tapper thinks that President Trump is crazy, cray-cray. All right, so before I give you my thoughts on this, I want to know from you. Do you think, and let me read what we're talking about here. This came out yesterday, but it's shocking to me that it's still a big story. Kim Jong-un stated on Twitter, the nuclear button is on the desk at all times. Right? Nuclear button is on the desk at all times. Okay? Then Trump starts talking about, and I can't find the quote here, but Trump's quote was that my nuclear button's bigger than your nuclear button. The left is out of their mind upset. This is going to start World War III. This is going to start a nuclear showdown with North Korea. What's really going on? Oh my gosh, Trump is finally doing it. I want to get your take on it, and then I'll tell you mine in a minute, because I think it's brilliant, and I'll tell you why in just a minute. Let's see here. Let's see, we got some temperatures there. And I'm very curious what the temperature is where you are, because you're in that Arctic bomb, that Arctic blast. Randy says the fire was just the devil trying to get to the Clintons finally. Okay, lots of great comments. Jason says, if Trapper is a doctor, then Al Gore is a scientist. Lying on our pants on fire. Okay, you guys haven't caught up to me yet. Lots of cut-ups. Chris says, I think his tweets are funny. Okay, here's why this is brilliant. And it's why the left doesn't understand, or they do understand. And what's even worse is they are ignoring the facts. One of the things that President Trump is an expert in, and whether he's studied it or it just comes naturally, I don't know. But in the art of persuasion, President Trump has shown himself to be a master. And he's able to do it on Twitter, which is incredible. What is happening and why this is so brilliant is because Trump understands power. And he understands the ego of the adversaries. Now, on the left, we have too many sissified, wussified, candy-ass, Oprah-loving, Ellen-loving, let's cry and get to our feelings people in politics, instead of strong alpha male leaders who understand other strong alpha male leaders. Now, you may not like tubby Kim Jong-un, and you may think Kim Jong-un is an idiot, but the one thing he was born and bred and taught how to lead that country. It's the only thing he was taught by his father. And so he understands how to be a leader. I'm not saying he's a good leader, but he understands the psychology of it. And what Donald Trump is doing is using some incredible persuasion techniques to get under the skin of Kim Jong-un. But not only get under the skin of him, he's playing with his head. And not only is he playing with his head, he's gaining more respect by leaders around the world. Barack Obama did not have the respect of leaders. Okay? He didn't. Barack Obama had the adoration of the masses who are asses. The leaders around the world thought he was a little punk kid. Okay? They thought he was young. They thought he was weak. They loved it when he led from behind. They loved it when he bowed to leaders of Saudi Arabia because it weakened America. And to them, they thought a weakened America was good for them. The truth is, a strong America is good for the world. Okay? And so what Donald Trump is doing is showing his strength and his power and not backing down. What is the first thing every Democrat is saying today? Donald Trump, what he's doing is he's trying to tick off Kim Jong-un, and by doing that, we're going to have World War III, and it's really, really bad, and people are going to die. It's going to be a nuclear war. What he needs to do is negotiate. Negotiate for what? with Kim Jong-un. When has any of the negotiated peace with North Korea or Iran, when has it worked? When have they lived up to their deals? I mean, they live up to the good parts, where we give them billions of dollars and we save them with oil and food, whether it's North Korea with oil and food or cash for Iran. But then when it comes down to what we negotiated for, what we want, it rarely happens. Because, as Trump talked about, we're terrible negotiators. Because we believe, not we, usually government officials or people on the left, what they want to do is they want to hope and pray and hope that these people are going to be nice and swell. And all we got to do is talk with them, and it's going to be just goody two-shoes. We're all going to be friends. That's not what Kim Jong-un was bred for. This is the grandson of a great dictator and murderer, the son of a great dictator and murderer, a guy who killed his own brother because he was afraid that his brother might come and try to take some power. Kim Jong-un is not somebody that benefits from negotiation. He understands strength and power, just like the terrorists did, just like ISIS does, and just like Iran does. And it's a nice world. I wish we lived in the world where you could sit around and just talk, and everything goes away. Well, guess what? That's what's happening in the UN, and nothing gets done ever. Until Donald Trump, where he says, hey, support us in Israel or we're going to pull our money. Good for you. So we continue to have the left being cowardly. We continue to have the left who want to pretend on everything. They want to pretend that the Israeli capital is in Tel Aviv and not in Jerusalem. They want to pretend that you can choose your gender. They want to pretend that there's more than two genders. They want to pretend that Donald Trump isn't president. They want to pretend and pretend and pretend and pretend and pretend. Well, guess what? I live on in the real world. They want to pretend that the earth is getting warmer. And see, and all of their pretends all cost you and me money and safety and security. They take our country in wrong directions. And when America suffers, the world suffers. Oh, but we can all feel good. Yeah, let's just we'll all feel good. We're gonna have a deal with Kim Jong-un, and life is gonna be good. No. But what's interesting, you got the Olympics coming up in South Korea. Kim Jong-un's, he's talking a little bit. He's negotiating. I heard, I think he's going to send a team to the Olympics. He and Trump are actually talking on Twitter. Now, they may be making fun of each other, but that's how games are played with men. Again, I'm not giving credit or credibility to Kim Jong-un. Somebody could be writing it for him. I don't know. But see, when you're dealing with high-stakes negotiations, there's an alpha and there's a beta. There's a winner and there's a loser. And see, for some reason in America, we forgot all about that after World War II. Oh, we're just going to negotiate not a peace, a truce in Korea. We're not going to fight the war to win it in Vietnam. We are going to pretend that the war in Iraq and the Middle East the first time with George Bush Sr., that's over. we're going to pretend that if we pull our troops out, that the problems in the Middle East are going to go away thanks to Barack Obama. We forgot the lesson that we learned in World War II, and that is you must defeat the enemy or the enemy will come back and back and back and back and back and back. And that's what's happening. Now, Kim Jong-un in North Korea, they're starving. Well, he's not starving. I mean, Tubby there, he's eating up good. Not that I could say anything, but I'm not a dictator killing people, and I can go down to my local barbecue restaurant and not worry about it. But Trump is a leader. Trump understands negotiations. This is why we put him there. The people that are complaining the most, who was the chick that was the UN ambassador under Obama? Samantha, I'm blanking on her name because she was just so pathetic. You know, she's crying. Oh my gosh, we're being so horrible. It's because, dummy, people like you put us in this bad place. You and Obama and the Secretary of State. What was that person's name again? Who was the Secretary of State at first under Obama? Oh, yeah, it was Hillary Clinton. These people led from behind and put you and me and our families in danger. And they put the world in danger. Trump is not putting the world in danger. Trump is standing up to these little cowardly tin pin dictators and saying, oh, you want to play? Okay. My button's bigger than yours. So go ahead. If you want to shoot something, go ahead. I promise we'll take you out. Oh, no. He's going to destroy everything. He's not going to destroy everything. But that's how you talk to these people. And by the way, there's been more conversations with Kim Jong-un and a president with Trump on tweet than just about anything. Right? Let's see here. Patricia said compound and coincidence. If you're a writer, hold on. Did it misspell? You know what's happening? And thank you, by the way, for the video is running behind the voice. I'm sorry, Kate Dean. That's usually your setup. Sorry. Anyway, somebody said that I misspelled a couple of words. You know what? I'm not saying I'm the best speller in the world, but I will tell you. I don't know if you've noticed since the beginning of the year, spell check has gotten worse. I don't know what's going on. Don't know what's going on. Let's see here. Kathy thinks the left is always wrong on everything. Trying to think. Yep, pretty much. Giovanni says, fire? This wouldn't mean that important evidence would be lost forever. Huh. I'm sure it'd be a coincidence if it was. Let's see. Kathy says, I'm sure anything that could be used to prosecute the Clintons are up in flame now. What a joke this is. Ronald says, you're right on. You hit the nail on the head. Why, thank you, Ronald. Bill got his cigar too close to Hillary's liquor. That's Bob. George says, I figured that they wanted to get rid of all the records they stole from the State Department when they left if some judge's orders them returned. Oopsie, sorry, we had a house fire. It burned up. James says, yeah, the earth is getting warmer, so why is the southeastern U.S. in a deep freeze? 17 degrees in South Carolina, cold it's been in the years. Yeah. Reagan says, the only fat kid in the country. I wonder who the dictator is. Talk about North Korea, yes. Laron says, no one lives in fear of the U.S. anymore. They didn't. They do now. See, that's the great thing about Trump. And part of what the liberals are doing unwittingly is making him more effective. Oh, Donald Trump's crazy. Donald Trump, who knows what he's going to do? Donald Trump, he's insane. He could push the button at any time. By the way, these are the exact same things they said about Ronald Reagan. I know you youngsters may not remember this, but I was in high school when Ronald Reagan got elected, and I promise you, they said the same thing. Reagan was going to push the button. As a matter of fact, there was a video by Genesis. It is the land of confusion. Yeah, there's a video called Land of Confusion by Genesis. And if you go watch that video, if I play it, they'll make it so that you can't see the replay of this video. But if you find that video, it's Ronald Reagan as a puppet. And he's going to push the button and destroy and kill everybody. Okay? So this is the same thing the left has been saying about anybody with any strength and power. What Donald Trump is doing and scaring the left is great because he's scaring the rest of the world. And they're all going, well, maybe he will do something crazy. Maybe he will. And that's what we want him to think, because then they won't do it. Curtis thinks the Bleach Bit license expired. Yes, probably January 1st. Today's the 3rd, right? Sandra says, you are right. What we are negotiating, or what are we negotiating? North Korea doesn't know how to negotiate. North Korea doesn't know anything but power, murder, letting your people starve so he can play with his toys. Yep. Lori is using Chrome and having no issues with the video. Good. Okay, that's good. Perry says most TV programs are not worth watching. Better off to research news on the internet. Well, and I hope you're doing that by watching this show, and I appreciate that. And I know all the nice folks at Liberty One TV and at Right Wing News. We really appreciate you. Somebody says, who is this guy? My name is Rusty Humphries. Welcome. I've been in talk radio for 30-something years. My show is in the top 10, actually number 6th most listened to talk radio show in America for a number of years. And I decided to get off terrestrial radio because terrestrial radio is in big, big, big trouble. One company went bankrupt in December, owing billions of dollars. That company owns Sean Hannity's show. They own Michael Savage's show and others. The other company is $23 billion in debt, and their note comes up this year. They own Rush's show and Sean Hannity's show and more. So your favorite, and by the way, they own almost all talk stations, all of them. Every major talk station are owned by those two companies, okay? Now, there are other companies that own some talk stations, but not the majority of them. And so I'm telling you, we have to keep the honesty online, because with the 25 minutes of commercials and traffic and weather together, conservative talk radio is no longer listenable. I don't know about you. I can't listen to it anymore on the radio. I can't. And so we come on here, and yeah, I'll tell you about a product or two. I'll tell you about the HearMeOut app, which I think is an app you should download to your phone and follow me, Rusty Humphries, and great people like Chuck Woolery, and there's other great folks on there. Right now, it's kind of an app that's just kids have found, and I'm telling you, if we get on this app early, we can take this thing over. And this is, Facebook before Facebook became big, or Twitter before Twitter became big, and lets us conservatives run this app, okay? So go to the HearMeOut app, download it on your phone, and follow me, Rusty Humphries. And if you do hashtag Rusty, I'll try to follow you too, okay? Let's do that. Let's see. Michael says, Rusty, you're on the money about this dirty garbage going on and with Democrats' so-called party. Scandal after scandal with the Democrats' slimes. Yep. Patricia said, compound and coincidence. If you're a writer, please use spell check or learn how to spell. I'm so sorry, Patricia. I'm very, very sorry that the spell check was wrong and I made a mistake on spellings. I'm sorry. You should see the way the kids today are spelling. It's unreadable. And it's, capital letters in the middle of words, missing letters. And that's just how they do it today. Now, I'm not saying I shouldn't have checked that, but I had a quick technical issue and had to get back online in a couple of seconds, and spell check made a mistake. So I'll take the blame. But I think talking about what's important and why what Donald Trump is doing is not going to cause World War III, but stop it, and giving you information that maybe you haven't heard anywhere else, that's more important than the spelling of a couple of letters. That's what I think. Tony says, Rusty, you're awesome. Thank you, Tony. You're better. He's in North Carolina, 23 degrees. Cheryl says, karma. God don't sleep. Tim checking in from Washington State. Thank you, Tim. Brian says, darn it, Rusty, get down and give us all 20 right now. 1, 2. I made a spelling error. I'm sorry. 3. Let's see. Thomas thinks it's an insurance scam for the Clintons. I don't know. They got more money than that. Audrey, low 20s in Pensacola, Florida tonight. Ooh. James is in Ireland. Global warming here in Ireland. We don't see it. Constant rain. Rain, rain, rain. Guess what? More rain. Frosted Lucky Charms. They're magically delicious. Oh, James, that was a terrible Irish accent. I'm very sorry. Yes, Reese, land of confusion. You're right. Is the land of confusion. Kids use lazy language. Yep, some teachers don't even teach cursive anymore. I don't think cursive is in the curriculum anymore. It could be, but I don't think so. Common Core BS. Yep. We will see justice. What's up, Jimmy? Clinton criminal cartel, where the laptops and emails were stored. Yep. Cheryl says the cartel she owes money to when she thought she would win the election takes revenge. Oh, interesting. What's the temperature here in Arizona? Currently, the temperature is 65. 65. And Thursday, 74 high, 73, 72, 73, 74, 76. On Tuesday and Wednesday, 72. Oh, by the way, have you ever heard of a book called Ender's Game? Don't talk. The movie was terrible with Harrison Ford, but Ender's Game was written by a great author, an awesome guy. His name is Orson Scott Card. If you're familiar with Ender's Game, do me a favor. Give me a thumbs up, would you please? Thumbs up if you know what Ender's Game is. And if you don't, that's okay. If you don't, hit the sad, would you? If you know what Ender's Game, give me a thumbs up or a heart. If you don't know what Ender's Game is, give me a sad face. I'll wait for a second. Chris thought it was a laptop barbecue at the Clintons. Thomas, thumbs up, big letters. Everyone's a school teacher till they make a mistake, says Raleigh. Okay. Read the book back in middle school, says Jason. Awesome. The author of that book, Tyson says, you call that evidence? They call it kindling. Okay, so there's a lot of people giving me thumbs up on Ender's Game, and there's some people have the sad. Ender's Game is a book written by one of my dearest friends, a guy named Orson Scott Card. Now, there's a preview for... That's awesome. Can I bring up the sound? Hold on. I'm going to give a free plug for that one. Do you have Amazon Prime? Hold on, now I've lost it. Do you have Amazon Prime? Amazon Prime has a show called Jean-Claude Van Johnson. And if you like Jean-Claude Van Damme at all, he's funny in this show and he's awesome. I should have talked about that in my show. Anyway, all right, back to Ender's Game. Ender's Game is one of the smartest books ever written. Even if you don't like science fiction, you need to read this book because it helps teach you to think in different ways. And if you've read Ender's Game, tell me, do you love the book? Is it not one of the greatest books ever? Or no, Rusty, I think that book sucked. Tell me what you think. What's going on with my flag? Why is that not going? Play. Anyway, it is suggested reading for military guys. Anyway, Ender's Game is one of the top 5 science fiction books of all time. And like I said, it's more than just science fiction. Miriam loved it. Randy says that's a science fiction book, right? Yeah. Anyway, Orson Scott Card is the author of that book, and he's written not just one Ender's Game book. There's a series. He's written hundreds of books. I mean, this guy has written tons. Chris liked the book. Jason says one of the best books I've ever read. Thomas loved it, read it twice. Anyway, once a week I do a podcast with Orson Scott Card, the author of Ender's Game, and it's called We Review Everything. And basically, that's what we do. We just review anything we can think of. We reviewed Star Wars and barbecue and Yeti drink holders and the movie Winston and the mystery, the contract that writers have, the writer's contract with you, the reader. Anyway, this was a great episode. And just go on iTunes and you'll find it. It's the podcast. It's called Orson Scott Card's We Review Everything. It's free, and it's he's so smart. He's so smart, and you know what I really love about him? He is intellectually honest. He would say, "I'm a Democrat," but couldn't stand Clinton, couldn't stand Obama, can't stand today's Democrat Party. He is what is called as a classical liberal, and as conservatives, we can talk with a classical liberal. A classical liberal is still somebody who believes in America and believes in defeating communism and believes in, jobs and working and, in a lot of ways, conservatism has turned into classical liberalism. But there are some things that we disagree on. We disagree on illegal immigration, things like that. So we'll talk about those kind of things as well. But we come from different points of view, and it's a fascinating show, and you should find the podcast. It's called We Review Everything. Orson Scott Card's We Review Everything, and just to go to iTunes and Stitcher or any of those places and type in my name or Orson Scott Card, and you'll find the show, okay? Linda says, Card is my daughter's favorite author. I just borrowed her copy of Ender's Game. Awesome. Here's what I suggest. If you've read Ender's Game, the next one you want to read is Ender's Shadow, which is the same book but from a different character's point of view, and it's brilliant. It's brilliant. Karen thinks Hillary's burning evidence. Okay. What's wrong with my TV today? Where's my fake flag? Why is it not working? Hate it when that happens. It's supposed to just play a nice flag. It's supposed to look pretty for you. I don't know what's going on. Okay, so again, the Orson Scott Card Show with me. Go download that show. It's a podcast, no video there. Scott's also like an old curmudgeon, which makes me laugh every time. Okay, one other thing I wanted to talk about, and I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. And it is a mistake on everybody's point. I don't like it. Jim's from SeaTac. Hey, Jim, how you doing? SeaTac is, that wasn't SeaTac when I lived there. It was the SeaTac Airport. SeaTac is right in the middle of Seattle and Tacoma. It's right where the SeaTac Airport is. Now it's a city, but that's where I growed up. And yes, that's an official word. Growed up. All right, let's talk about what went bad today, and I don't like it. Steve Bannon is now attacking Donald Trump. Donald Trump is now attacking Steve Bannon. Don Jr., let's take a quick look at Drudge right now. Some of the things that they're saying, it's that I don't like. Don Jr. is saying that Steve Bannon's time at the White House was a nightmare, backstabbing, harassing, leaking, lying. Newt Gingrich now saying that Steve Bannon's exaggerated self-importance was built by the media. Steve Bannon is claiming there was treason at the White House. And there is a new book that is coming out. And Trump says Steve Bannon lost his mind after leaving the White House. Here's the statement from the President of the United States. And I'll be honest, I don't like any of this, but I have to share it with you because it is the news, my friends. So here we go. Statement from the President of the United States. Steve Bannon has nothing to do with me or my presidency. When he was fired, he not only lost his job, he lost his mind. Steve was a staffer who worked for me after I'd already won the nomination by defeating 17 candidates, often described as the most talented field ever assembled in the Republican Party. Now that he's on his own, Steve is learning that winning isn't as easy as I make it look. Steve had very little to do with our historic victory, which was delivered by the forgotten men and women of this country. Yet Steve had everything to do with the loss of a Senate seat in Alabama, held for more than 30 years by Republicans. Steve does not represent my base. He's only in it for himself. Steve pretends to be at war with the media, which he calls the opposition party, yet he spent his time at the White House leaking false information to the media to make himself seem far more important than he was. It is the only thing he does well. Steve was rarely in a one-on-one meeting with me and only pretends to have had influence to fool a few people with no access and no clue whom he helped write phony books. We have many great Republican members of Congress and candidates who are very supportive of the Make America Great Again agenda. Like me, they love the United States of America and helping to finally take our country back, build it up, rather than simply to burn it all down. Randy, want to know if I saw Sarah's press conference today? Yes, I did. Cheryl says, I can't believe Bannon the traitor. This one is hard for me because I've known Steve Bannon for a long time. I like Steve Bannon. As a matter of fact, about 2 years ago, I was running a radio network, and there were two people I tried to hire to do radio shows. One was Tucker Carlson, and one was Steve Bannon. Before Tucker Carlson got the big show on Fox, and before Steve Bannon, anybody knew who he was, really. So, I have a nose for talent. I've known Steve since before anybody really ever heard of him. He was a movie producer. He did a Sarah Palin movie. And he used to come on my show quite a bit. And I'd talk to him on the air and off the air. And then he got in tight with my friend Andrew Breitbart. And I don't know how they got together, but they did. And then when Andrew passed away, Steve took over. And I've always been friendly with Steve. And as a matter of fact, when he was in the White House, we texted each other on a regular basis. So I have no beefs at all. Now, Karen says they say that book that Steve Bannon was quoted in was written by a liberal. It could be a false quote. Wait for Bannon to respond. That's fair. I was always surprised that he and Trump were tight. Because when you've got two guys that want to run the show, one guy's got to run the show. And that's always hard for the other guy. So I thought that job would be a difficult one for Steve, because Steve is a guy who got a lot of money. You know what Steve invested in where he got a lot of his money? People don't know about this one. They didn't talk about it much. You know where Steve Bannon got a big chunk of cash? He invested in a little TV show that really wasn't going anywhere. It actually was failing. It was in his first season. It was failing, and he put some money in it to keep it going. Anybody have a guess what show? No? I don't have time to wait. He invested in a little teeny tiny show called Seinfeld. And I'm guessing he may have earned $100 or $2 out of that one, maybe more. So Steve Bannon, very sharp. He has a good eye. He used to do a radio show on Sirius XM, and I heard the show. He did a good job. He did. Yeah. Sometimes, though, when you get into certain situations, and this is something that I talk to my VIP clients to a lot. folks don't know, I run a business where I teach people how to be on camera, online. I help people craft messages if they get in trouble or they want to get their message out. But one of the things that I caution people on over and over and over again, don't believe your own BS. Don't buy your own baloney. Don't read your own press clippings. It's business, but it's show business. I'm angering people. How am I angering people? What did I do to anger people? Reagan loved Seinfeld. Matthew is 4 degrees in Illinois. Let's see here. Karen says, Bannon is helping to elect outsiders. We need people like this. Mitt Romney is predicted to run for Congress. We need Bannon. Karen, I'm not saying that we don't need Bannon. I like Bannon. I do. And I do believe we need Bannon out there. But it is something, and I'm not saying he has. I'm just saying that it is something. It is a cautionary tale for everybody that when you get put into a spotlight situation, that you don't buy the BS. And Lyndon thinks, let's see here. Karen, I agree with you. Jeffrey says, thanks for the show. Lyndon says, Jared Kushner is a leftist Soros puppet, most likely to be the biggest problem. I don't know that he's a Soros puppet, but I do believe Jared Kushner does add a leftist element to Trump. Adam thinks that Hillary's pants finally caught on fire. Dan's enjoying the show. Thank you, guys. By the way, we're here every night, 9 p.m. in the East, 6 p.m. in the West. You can watch it on Right Wing News and a bunch of other great Facebook pages and on Liberty One TV. And if you have not subscribed to Liberty One TV, would you please do that? They are great people there, and I support them wholeheartedly. Let's see here. James says, if you make money teaching people how to do public speaking, TV, video, then I'm moving over there. Oh, James. Let's see here. Finally got to see your pants on fire. Anything else we need to do? I'm surprised that I got so many people angry about just... See, that's the one thing I tell the truth. And again, I'm not going to pick on Steve Bannon. I like Steve Bannon. I don't know what's going on here between he and Trump. It doesn't surprise me that they tick each other off. And here's something else that wouldn't surprise me. They get back together again. I see it being a on-off kind of relationship. And we'll see what happens. Although, you could take it one step too far and then the whole relationship blows up. And that may have happened today. I hope not. Carol's waiting for more info on the Bannon stuff. Reagan says, just an honorable mention, rest in peace, God's grace, President Thomas Munson of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Okay, Reagan. Randy says, I don't want to, but we do something wrong. We claim to, and we lose our social status. What people in power, government, what was a lie, caught being screwed. All right, Diane thinks we are the voice of reason. Yes, we are. Thank you, Diane. I appreciate you. Samuel is in Houston, Texas. Wayne loves Liberty One. Thank you, Wayne. We love you, too. We appreciate you. All right. I'm about out of time. I do wish for the best with Steve Bannon and for Donald Trump and for our country. I wish for the best of the people of Iran who are fighting those terrible dictators, doing everything they can to fight against all that money Barack Obama gave to the Ayatollahs to spread their evil hatred version of Islam. We are in a... Rowley says you're chatting. Maybe they're assuming you're on Bannon's side rather than being neutral. Now, I'm real neutral in this one because, in the Bannon-Trump thing, because I really like them both. This is like two friends fighting, and you do not want to get in the middle of this one. You know what I mean? That's how I feel about the Bannon-Trump thing. Because I've known Steve for a long time. And I know, I don't know Trump personally, but I know Mike Pence personally. I know a lot of the guys in the cabinet personally. Never got to meet Trump. I saw he walked past me one time close by, but I never got a chance to talk to him. That was before he was running for president. So this is one of those ones where I am staying out of it. Yes, Karen says, pray for God's guidance. I'm with you. Darren, tune in late. Hope your holidays were good. They were good. Thank you. Anyway, so our prayers are out there today. Prayers for our president. Prayers for the conservative movement. Prayers for our leaders, Republican and Democrat, to do the right thing for America. Because the right thing for America is the right thing for the world. Pray for those people protesting in Iran. We are in some tumultuous times. And I'm not giving up. It's far too easy to give up, you know? Far too easy to say, yeah, well, I don't want to, it's never going to work. It's never going to happen. Nah, I'm not giving up. I believe 2018, the year of 2018, is going to be great. And I hope you continue to hang out with us here on the Rusty Humphries Rebellion and join me.
My belief is that...
What is something? Something is talking on my computer. There we go. There we go. Let's get this going again. There we go. So do me a favor if you would. Number one, remember we're here 9 p.m. in the East, 6 p.m. in the West every night unless I got something better to do. And that happens a lot. No offense. Would you please follow me on the HearMeOut app? It doesn't cost you anything. I update on there a couple times a day. It's just little comments, little things, sometimes funny, sometimes not, sometimes serious. But it makes a difference to me, and I think you'll enjoy it. So it's the HearMeOut app. Just go to your app on your phone, HearMeOut, HearMeOut, okay? And follow me, Rusty Humphries. Do a hashtag Rusty. I'll follow you, okay? And what else? Oh, yeah. Subscribe to Liberty One TV if you would. Follow the nice folks at Right Wing News. And follow me on Facebook. Rusty Humphries. Look for me in a blue shirt. That's the one to get. There's other pages. That's the one to do. Raleigh has no cell phone. What? David saying goodbye. Wayne, thank you. Jobs, the economy 2018. You are correct, Karen. Good night, everybody. Love and kisses. Mwah. See you next time. My name is Rusty Humphries, and this is the Rusty Humphries Rebellion.